That doesn't count against my time, the person keeping it. Okay. Well, good morning, everyone. I'm Brian Sjothun. I'm the Parks and Recreation Director for the City of Medford, and as I say, it's a good fortune to be the Parks and Recreation Director. It almost feels like a road game with so many folks from Ashland here, so I'll be on my best behavior because one of your council members actually works for me, and when I want entertainment, I go into his office and ask, hey, what's going on in Ashland? It's best 10 minutes I can ever have to break my day up. But anyway, I'm going to talk a little bit about not only the department initiatives, what our Parks and Recreation Department has been doing over the last decade or so, but also some of the things that the city has been doing as well. As up until September, my department was not only Parks and Recreation, but we also maintained all the city buildings and did all the capital improvement projects as well, and so there was a number of things that have been done. Most notably is U.S. Cellular Community Park. I mean, you talk about conservation. We built a facility that has 1.4 million square feet of synthetic field turf, which is the largest installation of field turf in one park in the world. That's 14 fields. We save about 10.5 million gallons of water per year by using synthetic turf. And it also reduces the need for pesticides, and also reduces our emissions as well, is because we don't mow that. As the EPA reports that a riding lawnmower, 1 hour equals 11 cars. Now, I still do get calls from people saying that we're wasting a lot of water out there because there's no way that that grass can be that green without watering the heck out of it. We also, as part of our department, we have a neighborhood street tree program and part of our urban forest. And our goal is to plant anywhere between 50 and 100 trees per year. We are currently targeting neighborhoods that have the ability in their right-of-ways to be able to put those trees. And this is part of what our arborist and also our tree committee does, is they identify those neighborhoods. They go out, they teach the neighbors how to maintain those trees. And it's a really good program. Use of solar. We have probably about 7 years ago, did our first solar installation out at U.S. Cellular Community Park. We got a grant to put it on our maintenance building, so we use the solar there to spin the meter backwards at the maintenance building, but we've also have received grant. The city received nearly $800,000 in stimulus money, and so that was spent on energy improvements and installing solar at the Santo Community Center was one of those. We also replaced many HVAC systems, aged HVAC systems throughout the city, and also window replacements that has saved a tremendous amount of energy, and we can actually been monitoring that over the last 7 to 8 years, and we can really see the reduction in our energy usage and our costs that we spend on that. Oregon Hills Park, there's a picture there. Oregon Hills Park is up McAndrews. That's, talk about sustainability. That is a park that was built with sustainability in mind, using natural grasses, less irrigation, but we also installed solar on the picnic shelter there that, again, spins our meter backwards when also reduces our energy use. We plan on, it says future picnic shelters. We're updating our leisure services plan right now, and one of the biggest amenities folks want us to do is to put more picnic shelters in our parks, and this provides us opportunity to attach solar to those and to be able to, again, to either reduce the amount of energy we use and then sometimes spin the meters backwards. Vegetation management, and my good friend Jim Hutchins back there, Oregon Stewardship, his crew has been the leader in helping clean up the greenway here in Medford, and so he goes through there and along with some of our contractors, removes the non-native vegetation, plants native vegetation, and then they go through there and make sure they have a 5-year establishment period. It improves our water quality, and it also provides safety for folks that want to use the greenway, overrun with blackberries, so we've been going through and removing those. I am the single person who is removing the most homes for the homeless because we've been removing the blackberries. So I get those calls almost every week. This is a plan that we did with the Rogue Valley Council of Government. I know it's really tough to see, but one of the things when we first started looking at removing the blackberries was the unknown of the cost associated with it. And so we used some funding that we had and had RVCOG go through there and create an actual management plan for us and come up with costs on how to, and what it would take to remove, and then come up with a planting plan and then the management plan going forward. So once we had this in place, it became really easy and I think sellable to our policymakers that for a little bit of money, we can make something a lot better, not only for our public, but for the environment as well. So again, I mentioned Jim and Oregon Stewardships, our partnership with the Rogue Valley Council of Governments. ODOT, what a lot of folks don't realize is that the greenway that goes through Medford, a majority of the property ownership is ODOT. And so we have easements to go through ODOT's property, and they have been absolutely phenomenal in helping us clean up the greenway. And if you go over McAndrews and you look both to the north and the south and see all of the vegetation that's been removed, that's ODOT that came to our rescue and said, hey, we need some help. And so they've been doing a great job with that. And this is a picture of this property after the blackberries were removed. So Into the Commons was the first private business that we got on the west bank of the creek to step up and do the program. And now, thanks to Jim and his crew and others that are going along the west side of the creek, we can hopefully clean this up and make it a better habitat for our fish and our wildlife. Other park improvements, one thing that we did about 4 years ago is create zone teams. It absolutely blew my mind that we would send our park maintenance staff in 13 different vehicles all over the city of Medford all by themselves. So what we did is we broke Medford up into zones. There's 3 different zones. We have 3 different zone teams. And so now they travel together. And so we've been able to reduce our fuel usage. We've actually cut our fuel usage in half. And also some of the other things by doing the zone teams is that we have reduced the amount of time that we have taken to go get supplies, because now we have all of our supplies centralized at our service center, which then has, again, reduced windshield time. LED lighting, if you haven't had an opportunity to see Hawthorne Park now at night or early in the morning, please do so. It is absolutely phenomenal. And the LED lighting that has been installed in that park and Union Park is now our new standard from whenever we upgrade or build new facilities, provide a lot more light at a drastically reduced cost. In fact, what we're doing now is we're working with Musco, who's provided all of our field lighting at USCCP, that's short for the sports park, there's LED technology has come so far that we might be able to replace our bulbs out there with LED and again cut our usage and our dollars that we spend on that. Bioswales, we build bioswales everywhere with all of our parks. Our splash pads, they recycle all the water, which is very, very nice. Trends in parks and recreation, real quick. I got the 2-minute notice, so I'm going to go very, very quick. These are things that came from our national conference last month. Is one of the biggest things that we're seeing in parks and recreation is being able to link neighborhoods to their parks. That includes having safe ways for people to travel, either through bike paths, greenways, those sorts of things. Real interesting stat, 2-car households spends $1 out of every 4 of their income on transportation. There's a trend out there called 880 cities. What that is if you don't feel safe as an 8-year-old or an 80-year-old traveling to a park, then we need to make those destinations safe where you feel that if somebody 8 or 80 can make that trip. Also, some great stats about life expectancy with access to parks. So people that have more access to parks have a longer life expectancy. And again, the biggest thing for us right now is addressing the obesity issue. In Oregon in 1995, we were in the 10 to 14% rate. In 2010, you can see up there, we're in the 25 to 29% of Oregonians are classified as obese. And so that is one of the biggest things that Parks and Recreation and other service providers are trying to provide is access to parks, walking, cycling, and community gardens. Thank you.